Okay, so I just want us now to proceed and look at the key definitions in nutrition. So nutrition just will basically revolve around food. It will revolve around nutrients, and it will basically revolve around either the if the nutrients are enough or not enough. So you'll be able to define malnutrition. Okay, we talk about nutritional assessment methods, but the most important thing we need to understand, what is this nutrition? What is community nutrition? So nutrition is concerned mostly with food and how the food that we eat affect our lives, promote our growth, offer us protection, and so on and so on. So first, you'll be tempted to ask, then what is food? Okay, because remember, food is what is now containing the nutrients. It is now the nutrients that are able to perform those functions on the body, now contributing to the nutritional processes. So what is food? In simple words, food is any liquid or any solid which is edible. Okay, any liquid or solid that is edible, and that which, if is ingested or eaten, will enable the body to carry out any of its life functions. So that is food. What is a nutrient? A nutrient is basically an active chemical component in the food that plays a specific structural or functional role in the body. We've said food is any liquid or solid that is edible, that if ingested enables the body to perform some functions. And we are saying nutrient is an active chemical component that is found in the food that is specific. Okay, it performs specific functions and specific roles in the body. Nutrients are just part of food which the body uses to do one: build tissues, produce energy, be healthy, repair worn out tissues, and all the likes and all the likes. Remember, we have 6 major nutrients in the body. We have proteins, we have vitamins, we have carbohydrates, we have minerals, we have fats, and then we have water. So what is nutrition? Nutrition is basically the study of food and how it affects the body. Okay, we are studying food and how it affects the body. Nutrition is basically all those processes, okay, by which living things receive or utilize the necessary materials for survival, which is basically nutrients. Okay, it's also concerned with all the social, cultural, and psychological implications of food and how it is eaten. Okay, we move ahead to define malnutrition. What is malnutrition? Remember, nutrition is all those processes. Okay, malnutrition is a condition. First, it is a condition that results from an imbalance between dietary intake and dietary requirements. For example, the body requires this number of proteins that is supposed to be taken, but now there's a difference between what is required and what has been taken or has been ingested. That results into malnutrition. Okay, malnutrition can also include overnutrition. Overnutrition, where now you take an excess of what is required in the body. For example, in the case of obesity, there's an excess of nutrients. Now, what is a diet? Okay, a diet, first of all, is food. Okay, so a diet is a food that contains all those nutrients required by the body in sufficient amounts and in proper ratios. We've said food is any liquid or solid, okay, that is edible, and if ingested enables the body to perform its life functions. And we've said nutrient is an active or a chemical component that is found in food that plays specific structural or functional roles in the body. So now we are saying a diet is a food containing all those nutrients. It is food containing all those nutrients in sufficient amounts and in proper ratios required by the body. What is a roughage? A roughage is defined as food fibers which enables the body to get rid of waste which would have otherwise been poisonous to the body. Okay? Of course, now we normally have dietary guidelines dietary guidelines, which is now just giving you what amounts of nutrients are required by the body or for specific age groups of people, and what dietary guidelines, what if taken will be excess, what amounts, for example, sugars, how do you use sugars, okay, use sugars in moderations, okay. If you're eating fats, how are you going to regulate your fats and your cholesterol? If you are drinking alcohols or beverages, how do you do so in moderation without harming the body? If you're eating food groups, how do you, and just basically guidelines that will enable you to eat a wide variety of foods in correct ratios and in correct proportions. So we're talking about food. Why do you think humans need food? Why do we need food? Why do you need food? We need food to provide energy so that we can be able to perform all those physiological functions, like to be able to breathe, okay? You need to be able to have your blood circulating in the body, for digestion to be able to be possible, for your metabolism, for maintaining body temperature, for growth, repair, and repair of worn-out body tissues. All those are the reasons why we need food. Of course, also to be full. You need food to be full and to be able to be sane and to be able to be, have the energy to perform your day life activities. So now, when you're classifying foods according to their nutritive values, I said classification of foods according to nutritive value will be on carbohydrates, which basically provide energy. Okay, they are the cheapest, and we have so many different types of carbohydrates. Okay, we have the monosaccharides and the disaccharides, the glucose, fructose, and the likes. Disaccharides, we have the sucrose, lactose. So carbohydrates basically provide you with energy. We also have proteins, which are the non-body building foods, because they repair worn-out body tissues. Okay, so proteins are very important. There are so many groups of people that need proteins. Children need proteins to be able to enable to grow. We have pregnant women who need proteins to build their bodies, and also that of their babies and placentas, and to make that extra, fat. Breastfeeding moms also need enough proteins to produce enough nutrients. And we have so many types of foods that can give us proteins. So I'm giving you an assignment to tell us, to find out the different types of food that will give you proteins, different type of foods that will give you carbohydrates, cassavas and the likes, vitamins, green leafy vegetables, fats, where can we get minerals, list all that. And also remember that you need to also know the functions, for example, of carbohydrates. What are the functions of carbohydrates in the body? What are the functions of proteins in the body? Determine that. What are the functions of vitamins? What are the functions of minerals in the body? What are the functions of fats? List down the sources of these foods, and also list down the functions of all these foods. And as you do so, list down the nutritional disorders that will arise from, example, lack of proteins, for example, lack of carbohydrates, for example, lack of all those nutrients. If it's about minerals, list down the nutritional disorders that will arise as a lack of those of the nutrients. What will happen if there's no iodine in the body? Okay. Vitamins, list down the nutritional disorders as a result of those vitamins. So a recap: list down the sources of foods where we can get the nutrients. Number 2, list down the functions of all those nutrients in the body. And number 3, list down the nutritional disorders that will arise as a result of those, of lack of or in excess of those nutrients. I think that is fair enough. If we give ourselves, today is a Tuesday, if we say on a Monday, we submit it individually to my email, ameso.truth@gmail.com. This will also be as a part of a cut. So everybody must do it, as you also put your registration number and your name, and you bring it in soft copy to ameso.truth@gmail.com. Thank you.